Today is Monday, November the 9th, and you may think this was a great day, and it was. The market just popped up because we had a vice president who became president-elect, and I think the market is pretty happy with the fact that we've got a split Congress, but that we have a new president. But look at the McClellan oscillator. It stopped exactly at the overbought line. Now what we should be seeing tomorrow is a bit of a pullback because we had such a big day today. So let's take a look at the S&P. What happened to the S&P? We said over the weekend, and we've said it for the last few days, that we were headed to 35.88. We hit it, we exceeded it, and where did we end the day? Right there. We had a gap at the beginning of the day, and where did we finish the day? At the top of the gap. So the technicals are working beautifully. We have, where's Apple? Oh, Apple, right there. Look at Apple. We were looking at Apple and we were watching its Chiku span, which managed today to find a support right. If you look at there, right underneath the, let's get rid of this here, right there, if we put a line right there, look at that. It stopped exactly on the cloud. Let's put a green line there, and the green, whoops, wait, let's try that green line again. It won't do that because I've got too many other things there. But anyhow, it stopped right on the confluence of the 50 and the cloud, and that's what we said. That's what that little box was there for before. That box we had right there, because they had the confluence of the 50, the cloud, and just below that the 8 EMA. Just way too many things happening for it to be coincidental, and we had support. We also, if you look at where we got support, it was a little bit below where the candle, where the Chiku span would have hit the top of the candle. But nonetheless, tomorrow's support, we should see Apple either moving up tomorrow and Chiku span finding support here at 116.88, or we squeak down and we fall into the cloud, and that would be bad news for Apple. I didn't add today. I took off some on Friday. I've still got the same December 110 and 115 short puts. Let's take a look at Caterpillar. Caterpillar had a, come on, let's move to Home Depot then, since we can't get Caterpillar. Home Depot had a massive day today, huge down day today. Look at the Chiku span slicing right through the cloud, right through the moving averages in the candle. You've got to look for bad news, but we had a sort of a mixed day today. Look at Whirlpool, for example. Whirlpool had another extremely bad day. We can take away all of the Fibonacci's there and just look at the performance. Let's look at the cloud. Still way above the cloud, but we've fallen below the 50. So that was a huge bad day for Whirlpool, bad day for Home Depot. Let's see if we can go back to Caterpillar. Caterpillar actually had a gap up day, opened here, closed here. So it was having a huge day. So it was just, this is when we need to go and look at FinViz. Let's take a look at FinViz. And you can look at the Dow, which dropped and just trended sideways and closed down into the, dropped down into the close. But look at the stocks that were moving forward. Now our technology stocks, for the most part, were negative. Information technology was a little bit green. Financial services, as I'll show you in a second, were just up huge. I mean, we're talking 10%. Commercial cyclical, consumer defense. So we really, healthcare, because of Pfizer and their news on the coronavirus, was having a great day. But we had just sort of a mixed day in terms of the stocks that we follow. So Home Depot got bashed. Apple had a great day to start up with. Started here, moved up, and then finished off just below the 50, got its support there. But look at the US Bank up 13%. Look at that huge gap in relation to, let's take it, the Chico span out of there. Let's take the cloud out of there. And let's look at what's happening with US Bank. Now let's look at all of the banks on a daily basis. Let's just click through some of the banks. Let's look at Bank of America. Big, huge pop, way above the cloud. Goldman Sachs, again, found support on the cloud, bounced up. JP Morgan, let's bring in its cloud. Just a huge day. So what's this telling you? This is telling you that the fact that we've got a Republican Senate and a Democratic president means that Elizabeth Warren and the people who are going to be tight on the banks are never going to get Senate confirmation. So that's why the banks have just rocketed and should continue to do well. If we just take a look at JP Morgan made a new high. This was its previous high, and now it's closed at a higher high. And if we draw our Fibonacci, let's take a look at the old, remove the old Fibonacci's. Let's draw a new one here. And let's go from this top, which was COVID, down to this bottom, again, COVID bottom. Where do we find ourselves? We find ourselves stopping exactly today at the 61.8%. Again, you gotta love those Fibonacci's. 61.8%. So we are looking tomorrow at some pretty good resistance. You wouldn't be surprised tomorrow to see a down day, because why? Because the McClellan oscillator finished right up there at the overbought line. So let's just finish the day by taking a little glance at a few other things here. Let's go into Nvidia Technology stock. Big down day. Look at that. That candle exceeded the previous 2 days. So that's not, you're looking at, when you see 4 to 7 days with a big candle overlapping all of those, then that gets serious. NR4, NR7. Let's look at Facebook. Big down candle. Looking at Google, equally down. Goldman Sachs. Look at Goldman Sachs. Again, the financials were strong. So we ended up with the S&P having a really strong day, created a gap that we're bound to fill, and it's possibly going to fill tomorrow. I would say there's an opportunity for a downside tomorrow. I'm going to go over here to my other chart and see if I can just take a look at the ES and see where we are. On the ES, we are down. After hours, we are down 17 or 18. So that would indicate that tomorrow we would probably come down to 35.17 on the SPX and try to find support. NIO is the stock that we've been following. Look at NIO. Let's not look at it on a daily basis. Let's look at it on a 5-minute basis, 15-minute basis, and let's look at the Fibonacci's with a goal of 46.98, and let's look at the Woody's pivots. And the Woody's pivots, if you followed the videos for the last few days, the Woody's pivots have been perfect. This is a stock that's being day traded. It's moving between the pivot point and its Woody's pivots on resistance. It hasn't really come down to test any support levels. It's just in a general uptrend. It's a beautiful stock, but if I were trading it, I would be looking at the 5-minute, 15-minute with the Woody's pivots, but I would not be selling it because I think it's going up to 46.98. If you're conservative and you want to hedge a little bit, I'd say tomorrow look at some 45 calls, some 46 calls for this week or next week, but be prepared to add more stock as the stock is bound to be going higher.